What's up guys, Novice, and I'm back with another video. So this video will actually be to demonstrate some of the password cracking techniques that I spoke about in the last video. Today in particular we're going to be focusing on dictionary attacks, and we'll probably just hop right into it, show you guys what's going on, and then I'll talk to you as we go through it. Okay, so the first part of this is actually going to start in the domain controller. So here we have the domain controller, and then on the other side we have our actual attack machine. So let me maximize the size, close out of here. Now for this scenario we're gonna have to play a little bit of pretend, because I'm going to have to grab the hash that we can use in our dictionary attack so that we can have something to actually crack. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extract a hash that we can use in the brute forcing attack. So these steps, although they can be important, they can vary. This is just the way that I've decided to go about doing so, but there are a lot of different ways to accomplish the same thing. So what I will do, I must first obtain the NTDS.dit file. Now that file pretty much contains all of the passwords for that for all users in the domain, and it's stored on the domain controller. If I am not wrong, it should be saved in the C/Windows/NTS, and then you should see the dit file in there, or .dit file. Just like that, it's right here. Now our goal is pretty much to grab this list or this database, because that's actually what it is, that's storing the password information, and to decrypt it. However, the problem is we cannot do it from here because this file is continuously running in Active Directory. So if we try to copy it, it's not going to work. So to get around that, we're going to do something known as create a shadow copy. Now, in creating a shadow copy, let me grab my command prompt here. We use the following commands. And what this will do is that it will create a copy of the, well, I'm going to create a copy of the whole C drive. And then from there, it should have a copy of the NTDS.dit file. And to do so, we must use the following command, which is vssadmin create shadow /4 equals C. Okay, and right now it's going through and creating that shadow copy volume. Here we have it right here. Now what we're going to do next, we're going to copy that and place it on our drive. Now it should be in a similar place, which is Windows NTDS-NTDS.dit, and then we're going to copy it to, it's actually here. Now we'll make a different folder. So go to downloads. Then we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it NTDS extraction. So that's the folder we'll copy this to. Okay, so here we're able to get the NTDS database copied, and as I said prior, this database actually stores the password hashes for every single domain user in Active Directory. So that's going to be important going forward, because our goal is now to extract one of those hashes and then use that hash in, well, use a dictionary attack to crack that said hash. So with the NTDS, it usually comes encrypted. Well, it always comes encrypted. To decrypt it, we'll actually need a specific key known as the boot key or system key. Now, this key is found within the HKLM, which I believe points to the local machine, and then the system hive right under that. Now, this key itself doesn't expressly decrypt the NTDS. What actually does that is something known as I believe it's the password encryption key. But what the boot key does is it decrypts the password encryption key so that we can then use that key to decrypt the NTDS. Now for that, let's see, this can be found in the registry. H key, local user, told you, got sharp mind, had to keep that one in mind, and then system. Once we're able to extract this, we can then use some tools in PowerShell to actually crack the NTDS database. So let's see if I remember this right. There we go. And then backslash, and then we'll call this key. What type of file is this actually? I actually think I can save it like this. Oh no. Okay, let me check. I might have forgot how the syntax for this one was. So let's see. Save, hive, and then file, which is what I thought I did. Unless I spelled this wrong. Oh, I have to save it as .hive. Okay. See, live and you learn, guys. So we'll name it key. Well, we'll say system.hive. Let me see if that works. Boom. Okay. So now we have the two things necessary to grab the hash that is needed. So as I said, the NTDS stores every domain user's password in hash form, and this key that is stored within the system.hive actually possesses a key that encrypts the password encryption key that decrypts the NTDS, therefore allowing us to actually see what those password hashes look like. So now to do so, we'll actually have to, well, I don't want to crack it on here. I want to crack it on, no, cracking it on here is fine actually. So what we'll need for that is PowerShell. I might have to run this as admin actually. So let's do this. Good. So first we want to actually save down the key. I believe it's going to be get boot key. And then where are we getting this boot key from? System and then I believe I just have to enter that. Get boot key. That's what I get boot key. Maybe there's a specific library I have to download for PowerShell. Okay, so we gotta get this DS internals. Let's do it. Get that module and the name DS internals. And after this, I believe this should go through properly. Ooh, it's always cool to just learn while you're doing it. Just go ahead and say yes. hopefully you guys are getting to go through this process with me as well. You're installing the modules from an untrusted repository. You sure you want to install it? Oh yeah, kinda have to. But yeah, I hope you guys are following along as well, testing things out. And if you have any errors, put them in the comments, try to work through them and see what is going on you guys' side. Because this is all about you guys and learning experience. Okay, now, actually before that, I forgot an important step, but I will actually demonstrate it so that you guys understand what I mean. Okay, now we have stored the key. Now, this is going to be the error that I am referring to. Now, this error usually happens because, as I said, the NTDS.dit file, when it was shadow copied, was actually still in use, and therefore, because it was still in use, it was copied in, I don't want to call it a corrupted state, but in a state that wasn't completely correct. Now, to fix that, we will run the following command, and then from there, we should have a clean version of the dit file. The .dit file, the NTDS.dit file. So for this, we'll run the following. Now, what this looks to do is repair that file, and by doing so, I'm typing the right thing then. But by cleaning up the file, it gets rid of any errors that might have occurred during the copying process. So, oh, actually cancel. I almost forgot about this. So there are actually a few other options I have to add here. So that gave what it's actually looking for. Then I have to do this, which ignores a specific type of error, which is pretty much specifying that parts of it are corrupted. Once it does that, it pretty much just ignores that part and leaves it be. Boom. Now this is what we're gonna try. Let me think about what I could be doing incorrectly here. Alright, we'll go to our good friend, the internet, the interwebs. Yeah, sorry guys, I have not seen this error before, so we'll go through it together. Start without your data. No. Alright, see? During operation startup, may encounter jet error messages. Now we gotta see if there's something wrong with the actual command as well. Oh, what's wrong with that? Okay, after struggling a little, I was able to clean up the NTDS.dit file. So I had to restart my VM and then actually just perform it without the page set to -8. I had to remove that. And then from there, we now have a clean version of the NTDS.dit file. Sorry, the name is just so many letters. But okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna go to PowerShell. and then continue to run what we were running prior. Like I said, I restarted my computer, so we're gonna have to input a few more, or input things we've already done. So equals get key, put that backwards, get boot key dash, is it system high, yep, system high file path, and then we have blanking on the file path right now, but that's why we have the automatic finisher. Boom, and then there we go. Ooh, and then we can run this. Now let me see if it has it. No, okay, that's fine. So now we can actually run get dash count boot key, which turns a dollar sign key as per the variable db path. What is the db path? It's gonna copy this to make my life a little easier. Except we'll do it like this. Whew. It's not recognized. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Oh, I forgot. I think I did forget the dash between these two. Come on. Whoa! As you guys can see, it ran quite a bit. Now I'll go through and show you guys examples of what this is actually saying here. So let me go through, find the user account, because it looks like it has computer accounts here as well. And all I'm looking for are users. Okay, so for instance, here we have Ian Gray. Trying to look for the Sam account name. Here it is. And then from here on down, it gives information regarding Ian Gray. Let's see. So what I'm looking for is this NTM hash. By using this, we should be able to crack it using a password cracking tool that we'll use soon called Hashcat, that's already in our Cat Linux environment. So let's see. Now, just because I like picking on Bob so much, I think it switched me to the command prompt. All right, back here, let's make this bigger. I want to mess with Bob, or whoever the first person I created. Not David. I saw Bob. Let's see it. Who did I create first though? I think it was you, Bob Mitchell, right? Let me make sure that this one is administrator. Oh, okay, yeah. So I think this is right. So we have Beamage. Now what we're gonna try to grab is this NTM hash. Cool. And then what we are going to do, copy this, I'm gonna place it into a text file that we can create from here. New text document. I'm gonna say B Mitchell hash. We're actually gonna go in here. Boom. So just like that, we've saved the hash down. Close out of there. Now we're gonna want to put this onto our attack environment. So scroll down here. I'm gonna try to SSH into it. Now I know the name of it is Cali If it's not, it is 28. Then yes. Alright, let's see what we get here. I get what you're saying, but I've already SSH'd into it. SCP. Okay. You gotta try SCP, because I think I've tried that before. Kinda slipped my mind right now. Okay, was able to get it over. I had to do SCP outside of the Cal Linux environment. I was rushing a little, I wasn't thinking, but we got that done. So we did it from out here. It looks like it's successfully transferred. Now we can go back here and double check that. Reminders of my mistakes. All right, now this is, boom, and there's the hash. Now what we're gonna do, well, actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a shortened dictionary file, password list, a shortened password list dictionary file, whatever you want to call it, that actually contains the password. And then using that, I will run that in Hashcat against this hash. You guys will see that it will be able to generate the password from said hash. So if you give me a second, let me find out the password, because I do not remember. Oh, actually, I might have to get a different password then, because I think I've created B Mitchell before I did anything else. So I'll have to actually get one of my, oh, where am I? Get one of the older users. So it's gonna be over here, or the newer users, I'm sorry, which I created through the automated fashion. You guys should check that video out if you have not already. Okay, here it is. Let's go ahead and grab this. Now we're actually gonna come here, gonna rename this, and I believe that was Hannah. Hannah Wilson. Hash. Enter. Gonna come in here, change this. Save. Minimize you. Now we have to SCP it once again. I believe I did that from here. So we'll instead do Hannah Wilson. Oh yeah, I have to change it on there too. Yeah, what's that thing? Fat fingered it. I might have fat fingered it again. Nope. Alright, cool. Now I have Hannah's password on here. Now we're gonna create, where am I? Cali. Okay. Now we're gonna come in here, create a quick password list that actually contains the password. Also, it has both of them. I can delete that B Mitchell one later, but I do not care about that right now. So we're going to touch and then short password list, short password list .txt, and then that bad boy. Okay, cool. So let's see. Roots. Alright, some other stuff. I'm genuinely just button mashing right here. We'll do the good old-fashioned summer 2022. Now for Hannah's actual password, which would be 210 232 TUKTA_P. Now we're gonna go ahead and save that. Exit out here. Okay, now that we've completed all of that, we're now going to move to the Hashcat portion. So Hashcat is a password cracker that mostly focuses on dictionary attacks. It has different combinations of dictionary attacks, but the one we're gonna do today, I believe it's just called, is it called the common? Let me see. Hashcat -H. No, the straight. And straight is just going through the dictionary one by one, comparing the hashes that it creates to the hash in the actual sheet, and then seeing which one is actually correct. So that is what we're gonna run today. Now to do this, we're going to do Hashcat -A, which in this case will be 0, then -M, which I believe specifies the specific type of hash that it is. In this case, it'll be 1000. Now, I believe I will do -O. Cracked hash.txt, and then I believe I put in the hash itself, which is him, and then the word list, which should be Jordan password list. Now let's see if this works properly, or if I put this in backwards. And boom, look at that. It looks like it has already been cracked. Now here you can see the candidates. It has these two. Now we know that the password is obviously this one, but we are going to check that out in the file that we now have, which should be, I think I just called it cracked. So let's say cat cracked. And here actually shows the hash followed by Hannah's password. So that is it for today, but I'm going to give a quick little recap on what we went over. So first, we had to determine, well, in this hypothetical scenario, we first had to get administrator access to the domain controller. Once we had administrator access to the domain controller, we were then able to extract a copy of the NTDS.dit file, which contains password hashes of every single domain user in an Active Directory environment. From there, once we were able to actually go through and get that file, that database, we then had to grab the system hive, because within that hive, it contains the boot key, known as also the system key, which decrypts the password encryption key, and that password encryption key then decrypts the entire NTDS.dit file. After doing that, we now had the decrypted passwords after running a few PowerShell modules. From there, we had to move it over into our actual attacking machine so that we could then create a dictionary list that in this case had our password. In a real world environment, you never know if it actually has the password. You're just having trust that someone is using a weak or a common password. And after that had been created, we ran Hashcat on it. And then once Hashcat was able to go through the dictionary, it was able to find the matching password and show us the user's password. In this case, we now know that Hannah Wilson's password was, let me spell it out, 210232 TUKTA_P. P. So I wanted to elaborate a little further. So the way that I got the hash isn't the only way to grab hashes, but it was just the way that I decided to show, because my main point in showing this wasn't actually the grabbing of the hashes, even though that took the longest part. It was actually just to show how you can actually crack those passwords if you do have the hashes. And with Hashcat, I didn't explain this earlier, but what I just did was known as an offline attack, which I explained in a prior video. But pretty much I took the hash that I knew, went offline, and then brute forced it through a dictionary list. Once it went through that, I was able to actually obtain the password that I was looking for. Now I have information for one of the user's passwords, and now I can use that for whatever malicious purposes I want to. Now, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know we went through a bunch of different topics. Hopefully you liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. If you guys like the video, go ahead and like the video. And I hope that you guys will subscribe to see more from me in the future. And with that, I am finished. Novice out. Peace.